Hi dear cricket fans, this is Ram, your host with Cricket Happenings, and well, we are looking at the third one-day international between England and Australia, which was played here today at the Manchester Old Trafford. And well, England have already taken the series, but this time it was a very close affair. It was not very easy for England. In the end, they actually they were under tremendous pressure, and finally Tim Bresnan relieved their pressure by actually hitting a boundary and taking England to victory, and thus a series win now. They are already 3-0 up in the series, and now England are absolutely would be breathing absolutely free now. They have already taken the series, and England won this match by a tense one-wicket win with 5 balls remaining in the match. Well, as far as the story goes for the day, it was actually England who actually won the toss, but very unexpectedly they actually chose to field on this pitch. When they chose to field on this pitch, well, Tim Payne and Watson, the openers, took real advantage of that by going for the bowling. So they elected to field. Aussie openers stroked the ball perfectly with Payne aggressive of the two, dispatching fours of anything short and wide. Anderson was bowling tightly. Watson Payne then took advantage of some loose offerings from Broad and Bresnan to put on 75 for the first wicket in only 14 overs. Payne was the first to go. LBW victim for 44 of 48 balls with 9 fours of left-armer Michael Yardy. Swan then changed the course of the game first by getting Captain Ponting stumped for 3, and suddenly the score had slumped to 93 for 2 at that stage. But Shane Watson also hit one very good 6 of the bowling of Luke Wright. Michael Clarke was just staying there, just putting back to ball and getting some runs there. But after that, as I said, Swan, once he tasted the wicket of Ponting, he was amongst the wickets thoroughly. As first, Shane Watson was the first to go when he actually tried to swap a ball from Swan, and Strauss took the catch, and Shane Watson on his way back caught Strauss, bowled Swan for a very well made 61 of 76 balls, 5 fours and 2 sixes. After that, Michael Clarke and White, but well, White was gone. White tried to slap a ball from Swan on the leg side. Strauss took the catch, and Cameron White was gone for 12 of 23 balls with 2 fours. After that, Michael Clarke also departed. Now, that was the time when actually Swan had gone on a real spree here by taking 3 wickets. First of Ponting, then of Watson, and then of White. And then Michael Clarke was also a victim of Swan when he actually played away, and Michael Clarke was caught by Bell of the bowling of Swan for 33 of 54 balls. And Australia was suddenly from 75 for 1, they had slumped to 169 for 5. And after that, there was a very, very brief resistance. Hussey and Smith just managing to actually just put 14 runs before Hussey, after making 21 of just 21 balls with 3 fours, was a victim of Collingwood when actually Collingwood got the ball to actually swerve in. In fact, he was bowling his cutters, and one of the cutters actually Hussey got an edge and it went onto his stumps, and Hussey was gone. Bowled Collingwood for 21 actually. After that, there was absolutely no resistance. Anderson came into the bowling, Broad came in, and it was all over for Australia because first Smith was the first to go. LBW bowled Anderson for 20 of 21 balls, 1 4. James Hopes was castled by Anderson for 7, and Harris was caught Strauss. It was Ryan Harris who was tried to pull a ball from Broad, pulled it in the hands of Strauss. He was gone for 1, and Dougie Bollinger was clean bowled by Yorker from Anderson for 3. Sean Tate was not out on 1, and Australia, from a position 75 for 1 in the 14th over, were all out for 212. Not a good display at all as far as the batting card was concerned. And the bowling, well, Anderson was superb. 8 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 22, swinging the ball very well today. Tim Bresnan, 6 overs, no maiden, none for 43. Broad actually came back later in the later innings with Broad, 6 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 30. Luke Wright, 1 overs, 1 for 14 was costly today. And Michael Yardy, the spinners really did the trick here. Michael Yardy, 10 overs, no maiden, 145, giving the breakthrough. And then Graham Swan running through the middle order, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 37 his figures. Paul Collingwood, 1 for 21. And Graham Swan rightly was named man of the match. But well, as far as the England innings were concerned, Andrew Strauss and Craig Kisner started, and Sean Tate tasted first blood here by getting the ball, a swinging Yorker, swinging ball, cutting and coming and hitting the base of the getting the middle stump ripped off, and so Kisner was gone bowled by Sean Tate for a duck. So that was some real reward for Australia. But after that, Strauss was joined by Peterson. Strauss was also playing his strokes. Strauss was also looking very confident, but Peterson was the one who was looking absolutely confident. In no time, in just 36 deliveries, he made 25 with 5 boundaries, and all 5 delightful boundaries. I thought that Peterson was really into his groove today. His driving was superb. His pulling was superb. He was going after Harris. Hopes was actually hit for a 6. He was hit for 2 boundaries. So Peterson was looking the real Peterson today. In fact, no, there was no sixes by Peterson, but Peterson played some delightful boundaries. But then Tate came in, and Tate actually had Peterson caught and bowled for 25, 36 balls with 5 4. So England were 52 for 2 when Peterson departed. Then there was a very good stand between Paul Collingwood and Strauss, because Strauss and Paul Collingwood actually stabilized the innings, and that's what they did. And Strauss was still playing some very delightful strokes of the pace bowlers as well as of the spinners. And well, Strauss was gone. Dougie Bollinger bowled well today, but Andrew Strauss was gone. In fact, Collingwood was the third wicket to go at the score of 128 in the 30th over, when Paul Collingwood was clean bowled by Dougie Bollinger for 40 of 61 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. And Morgan came in. Morgan also entertained the crowd with a very quick 27 of 35 balls, 2 4s and 1 6. A beautifully hit shot by Morgan for 6. But then Morgan was gone. Morgan was caught punting, bowled Steve Smith, the leg spinner, for 27 of 35 balls with 2 4s. Well, that was the time when it was left to, that was the time Strauss came in. Now I'm taking you down to the 42nd over. The 43rd over, this is the time when towards the end of over 42, England were 187 for 4. Strauss was 86 not out, and Michael Yardley was 1. As Harris came and bowled to Strauss, and Strauss was gone, got a thick edge, and actually Payne held the catch, and Strauss, after making the highest score, caught Payne, bowled Harris 87 of 121 balls, 8 4s and no 8 4s of that for that effort. Well, at the end of 43, it was Stephen Smith who actually ripped up Wright, and Wright was actually gave a very simple catch to Hopes of the bowling of Smith, and Wright was gone for duck, and suddenly England were 194 for 6, and it all happened. Yardley was gone when Tate came in, and Tate, he edged to Payne of the bowling of Tate, and Yardley was also gone. Once Yardley was gone, it was still more pressure, as at end of over 45, England were 198 for 7. And well, Dougie Bollinger came in and bowled a beautiful over, just 4 runs coming of the 46th over. And after the 47th over, the 47th over was bowled by Tate, and it was a maiden over from Tate to Graham Swan. And after that, there was some pressure because England were 203 for 7, and 10 runs were required of 18 balls. But Dougie Bollinger crashed the ball onto the middle stump of through the defenses of Swan, and he was gone. And also Bollinger ripped upon Broad's wicket too. Broad was also clean bowled by a Yorker, and finally at the end of over 48 was a double wicket maiden by Dougie Bollinger, and suddenly England were in real trouble there. End of over 48, 203 for 9 on the board. Bresnan came in and hit one boundary, and at end of over 49, England were 210 for 9, and Bresnan really saved out England here by actually hitting a boundary of the 50th over. The first ball was beautifully, not beautifully, he glided it to third man for 4, and I would say he just relieved England, and England went to a 3-0 series win here. 214 for 9, the 50th over, Bresnan did it. But let me tell you, wickets just tumbled like anything, and there was too much pressure on England, but they just managed to do it through Bresnan. The bowling first 8 was superb today. 10 overs 1 minute and 3 for 28. Dougie Bollinger 10 overs 3 minute and 3 for 20. Harris 10 overs 1 for 59 was very costly. Hope 6 point also was costly for 44. Michael Clarke 4 overs none for 25. Stephen Smith 9 overs 2 minute 2 for 34. Graham Swan of England was named man of the match. It was a 1 wicket victory for England, and England go 3 up in the series with the match concluded at Manchester Old Trafford, and Australia are really searching for their first win here. That's it, dear cricket fans, for Cricket Happenings. This is Ram signing off. Thank you.